Welcome, stubborn mule paddlers. We are Trek and Trail, and we put together a little video showing all the ins and outs of the kayaks, paddling, and what you're going to be doing while you're with us here on our little part of Lake Superior. So stay tuned, take some notes, and get ready to get your head in the zone for your paddle with us coming up.
You will be issued a neoprene wetsuit. This is designed to keep you warm in case you end up in the water. It should fit you snugly, but not so tight that it's uncomfortable or restrictive. They're actually pretty comfortable.
This is a spray skirt. It's designed to keep water out of your cockpit in case you're splashing or there's big waves. So it's kind of simple. Put it on just like this, step into it and pull up. Then you want to grab this cinch it up nice and tight, a little above your belly button, around halfway. Then you want to get the grab loop and pull that up. It's important that this doesn't get tucked in when you put it on the boat. More on that later.
This is your PFD, or personal flotation device. It's meant to keep you afloat, and it needs to be worn at all times. As you can see, there's 3 buckles at the front, and we'll show you how to put it on and secure. You want it nice and snug, and we'll show that you do not ever want the shoulder straps to be able to go above your ears. That's how you can test if it's tight enough.
So I'll just put this on really quick. As you can see, it's a bit loose right now, so I'll start with these buckles. Just 1, 2, 3. You might need to loosen them beforehand or afterhand. Tighten them like this. Just kind of give them some nice pulls. Doesn't really move too much. Then we're gonna move to these side straps right here. Find it, give it some pulls. Maybe they're a little tucked in. Give that a pull, nice and tight. Check the other side, that's good. And then last, we're gonna do these shoulder straps, and we wanna make sure these are tight, because these are what keeps it on you when you're in. Otherwise, it comes off. So give these some pulls, and now it's not going anywhere.
Yep.
Put my arms up.
I can pull up as hard as I can on these shoulder straps, and it
Doesn't
is
go
not
anywhere.
going anywhere. It's nice and snug.
So this is about how tight you want them. And as you can see, the spray skirt is kind of underneath it. It's not hanging down here. It stays where it is.
Hello, my name is Wilson, and I'll be your guide through the paddle talk. Here I have an example of the paddle that you'll be using here on Lake Superior. I'm going to go over how to hold it, and a good thing to keep in mind is when you put it on top of your head, you're going to have your arms at a 90-degree angle. This will ensure the most efficient paddle strokes you can get. You don't want it too short, and you don't want it too wide. You want it somewhere right in the middle, just right, so that way you can get the most efficient strokes while you go. Also, something to keep in mind is that you want the knuckles on your right hand in line with the top blade of the paddle. You can tell it's the top blade because it is longer than the bottom blade. You also want to make sure that you have the scoopy face facing you. That way you can move the most amount of water as possible in each one of your strokes.
Hi, I'm Kayla, and we're going to go over how to effectively paddle. One thing you really want to focus on is your torso and using your core to torso rotate through it. So Wilson here is going to do some paddling for us. If you see him right now, he's really using that torso to rotate through with that paddle stroke, versus if he were to use only his arms, you're gonna get tired really fast. Oh, he's so exhausted. And that's also gonna put some strain on your body as well. But when he engages his core, he can get a maximum paddle stroke in there. He's pushing that water right behind him, and he's effectively paddling.
For this race, you will be paddling tandem kayaks. On these kayaks, you have hatches, which you can store equipment in that you won't need access to on the water. They open like this. And you just shove it in there and put your hatch cover back on. It's important to make sure that your hatch is on and sealed all the way, otherwise it will fill with water. It's also important to note that these aren't completely water sealant. Due to condensation and waves, there might be a little water in there as well. Your kayak will also be equipped with these bungees. You can store equipment that you will need immediate access to on the water, such as hydration. It's also important to note that the less stuff you have under these bungees, the more stable your kayak will be.
The other thing you should keep stored in your deck bungees is this build cup.
that can go in like this. It's important to keep this accessible in case you capsize and need to drain your boat. When your foot pegs are properly adjusted, you should be sitting like this in your boat with your knees lightly pressing against the sides of your kayak. So if I press on my right foot, the boat will start to turn right. And if I press on my left foot, the boat will start to turn left because of the rudder movement. Your kayak will also have foot braces. It's important to make sure these are fitted well to your body in order to have great contact with your boat. To adjust these, you'll want to pull this orange tab all the way back to where it's comfortable.
All right, so your boat's down at the water and you're getting ready to go out. We're gonna show you how to get in and what it's gonna look like when you're out on the water. So the first thing, you can notice that our boat is perpendicular here to the beach. We got the back of the boat, or the stern, facing, going out to the water first, and the bow up here facing the land. Since I'm in the back, I'm gonna be getting in first. What I'm gonna do is straddle the boat like so. I'm gonna sit down in the back of it. You can notice that I'm distributing my weight across the boat pretty evenly. After that, I'm gonna slide my butt in, sit down, make sure I get the sand off my shoes, and then I put my feet into the boat like so. Now you can see I'm sitting down.
All right, so after we get in our boats, what we're gonna do is put our spray skirt on. So how we start doing that is there's gonna be a little knot in the back here, which is gonna go in the center of your back of your seat. And then you're just gonna follow this cockpit combing around right here, and this black bungee part is just gonna go in here. Follow it around. All right, and then I'm gonna keep my elbows down, pressed against that combing, push up, and make sure this is all on around me. Most important part of this spray skirt is that this grab loop is out right here. You make sure it's all sealed around you, and that's the spray skirt.
So as you can see, we're out here in the water now. We're gonna get ready to go out, but before we can do that, we're gonna make sure we have our rudder down. You're gonna find the outside rope here, and you're just gonna pull it. That'll pop your rudder down. Now you can engage those foot pegs in your cockpit, help you steer. All right, so our day is done. We're approaching the shore, but before we hit the land, we wanna make sure that our rudder is up. Just like before, we're gonna pull on this string, and it'll help pop it up, and now we're ready to get into the land.
Crossing marina entrances is probably one of the more hazardous experiences that we'll encounter along the shoreline environment. So we want to make sure that we paddle with a purpose to get across these gaps in an efficient and safe manner. For this purpose, you will be along with some of the trek and trail guides in pods, so you can effectively cross the 4 different marinas if you're on the longer courses that you will encounter on your route.
So if you end up capsizing, this is what you're gonna wanna do. First of all, when you're under the water, you wanna hit the sides of your boat 3 times, nice and loud, just like this. And then that will signal to the people around you, I'm okay. So they'll know you're in the water, they know you need assistance, but they'll also know that you're okay. Then after you do that, your hands will be on the edge of the boat. You'll want to bring them up until you can feel the edge of your skirt here and the combing of your boat. You'll just bring your hands forward until you can feel this grab loop out in front of you. You want to push it forward a little bit and then just give a nice hard pull back towards you. That'll pop it free. You'll now be free from your boat and you can slide out, and your PFD will bring you straight up to the surface. And if you want, or if you can, it's best to try and stay as close to your boat and paddle as possible so we don't lose those. And then one of our assistants will come over to you as soon as they can and get you back in your boat and safe.
2, 3.
I'm here to help you guys get back into your boat here. The first thing we're gonna have to do is flip it back over.
Okay.
So we're gonna flip, away from you guys. Perfect.
My paddle's going through.
Perfect. And then you can just roll over for me so you're sitting in your seat. Perfect. And then you can do the same thing that we did. Just like that. Roll over. Alright, and now we can get you pumped out here so you're not sitting in water. You have a pump back there.